Hi everybody, Radical Gardener. I should straighten this out so you don't think I'm crooked. Anyway, how are you today? I can hear it out there. We're great. It snowed, my first snow in a long time. Remember, I was down in Florida, so we got snow out there. Yay. I have good boots. I have a warm coat. I'm good. So today, let's talk about returning to innocence. What does that actually mean? What does that mean? Does that mean all of a sudden we forget everything and don't know anything? Nope. I believe what it means, and what I'm reading in my new Paul Seeley book, and you know how many, I think I've read all 8 of his books. I think this is his 8th book. Pretty powerful stuff. So I'm going to read what is stated in here, what innocence is, because it's being said and stated much more, well, it's more impactful the way that they're putting it. And really, honestly, a higher vibration. They say it so well and understand it at such a deep level. So, talking about innocence, where do I want to start this? So the whole gist of this book is that you can be in the lower realm where all the separation is, or you can go to the upper room, and the upper room is where all things are God. There is no separation, where you live in a pure state of love and really bliss, and that I think it's difficult because I tend to be judgmental, much less than I used to be. It's a process. But anyways, so when they talk about the lower realm, they're talking about not being in the upper room, just, basically moving through your life. There's much to learn in the lower realm. We do not discard it. We translate it. Imagine you've known a language where every other word was informed by the idea of fear, and you claim a new language that does not speak in fear, does not invoke in fear. Then the manifestations of this world without fear will align you to your true natures, because you are no longer operating in vibrational accord with the old self entrenched in fear, seeking to absolve itself of guilt, so that one day you might be ready for entrance into the kingdom. The kingdom, you understand, is here. This is the kingdom, by the way. We're not going somewhere to find the kingdom. The kingdom is us in our pure state of innocence, and can be entered through the expression in vibrational accord of the higher self. Now, the action of the higher self, once incarnated in a realized state, is the alchemical act of manifestation. So you literally change. And the act of manifestation from the higher self is a rearticulation and the lifting of all things to the one note sung, the word. If you wish to call it that, or the true nature of all things, the disfigurement that you have all engaged in of self and of others, the defilement of the manifest world sown in greed and denial of the divine, will be re-seen, and can and must be re-seen from the upper room for the manifest world to claim itself in truth. It's up to us. Now, what is not in truth is that which denies the divine. So if you're denying the divine, you're not living in truth. Most of you think of heresy as speaking out against the church or a religious idol. Heresy, in fact, is the innate denial of divinity in what you see and experience. To understand that all things must be of God, whether or not you agree with them as a personality self, is an enormous step for most of you, because you have been taught to judge in fear so much that you rearticulate fear at every opportunity. You contaminate the world with more and more of the same. The choice must be yours now. The progression of this teaching has finally encountered itself through you and each of you as you are on the cusp of a new life in a new accord, for the benefit of all you encounter. Now, those of you who say, oh, this sounds lovely, let me get my good outfit on so that I can go about blessing the world, would be quite confused. The action you express at this level of intonation is in accord as and with the higher self or the Christ vibration. It is the Christ that does the work, not Sheila who is dressed for church. It is Josh who arrives and says, here I am, I offer myself in fullness. And it is the aspect of Josh in an aligned state and a reclamation of true identity that claims his world in all ways as the truth of being. What does that mean? To reclaim the truth of being and what you see is to know who you are and what you see as of one source. So as soon as you can, or we can, I should talk about myself. As soon as I can claim that I am of the one, of the Word, of the Christ consciousness, as is everything else, and if I can maintain that or even visit that more often than I do, this is when the shift really begins to take place. The action you express at this level of intonation is in accord as and with the higher self or the Christ vibration. What does that mean? The denial of the divine is in opposition to this. That terrible man cannot be of God. That terrible event cannot be of God. Now, God did not create the event. Perhaps you did, or someone acting in fear. But to realize God where the event has been is to reclaim manifestation or the presence of the divine where it has most been denied. Where God has most been denied is what you see as suffering, is what you see as poverty, is what you see as disease. When God is love, when God is known as love, many things will change because love will not harm, love will not defile, and love knows itself in innocence. Wowie zowie. What does that mean? Well, love knows itself in a purified state. The Christ expression is pure, untainted by fear. The manifestations of this innocence upon the material realm is not only a cleansing, it's a reclaiming of what was once it's a reclaiming of what was once laid in waste, what was once defiled, what was once left in ruin, to be reknown in love and consequently resurrected. The idea of judgment, that you are judged for your sins and will pay penance for them, must be reinterpreted now to understand that what you would call your sins or the denial of the divine outpictured by you is the reason you suffer. We cause it all. No one to blame. When you no longer claim these things, when you allow them to be reclaimed in the high octave of the upper room, all things are made new and you are reborn in innocence. So there's that childlike innocence. Doesn't mean you've gone stupid. Doesn't mean that you've forgotten everything. It means that you're living in a state of love. Now, understand what innocence does not mean. It does not mean you don't have a temper. It does not mean you don't enjoy physical pleasure. You have a body. You need to feed it. You need to bathe it. And please, hopefully, enjoy it on occasion. The divine as you, expressed through you, also knows itself in form. In the schemata you have engaged in. The bride must wear white. You must take the veil and forego the flesh. Is in all ways confused. One may choose a celibate life. One may opt for a life where there is no conflict around desire. But to understand that the higher self expresses in form supports realization of the material realm. Most of you believe that as you ascend in vibration, you no longer want what you've wanted, and there's actually truth to this. You no longer want what you've wanted in the way you've wanted it. But you enjoy a good meal, and you may make love, and you may participate in the great dance of being alive with all the gifts that it offers you. We will say to the new students, you are encountering yourselves through these teachings, like it or not, and the bias you hold for what should be anchored in the personality structure will be unanchored and unmoored. And indeed, There will be times when logic will fail you here. Your understanding of who you have been is about to be altered, because when memory itself is reclaimed as the higher self, the taint that memory holds, the fear that memory has held, may be known anew. I don't know who it was that I saw, and they were talking about how we all have like these memories and like scrapbooks and all this stuff. And so all of that, that's us living in the past, right? And then let's say, then we're all like, look in the future and we're prepping and we make sure that we have everything and what you have. So now we're also living in the future. So we're living in the past. We have all our stuff, all our memories and everything. There's our past. And then we're prepping for all these things that might happen. And so now we're in the future. So there's this tug of war where we're never in the present. So the first thing that people that like to prep, I'm a prep, I like to prep. The first thing that they say is, well, you better have those things on hand and you're going to be sorry. I believe that no matter what happens, I'll be okay. I have let go a lot about being, so much of a prepper. I actually find it exhausting, to be really honest. It's like walking this fine line for me. Yeah, I have things, and, I probably wouldn't go hungry for a pretty long time. And, but I also believe that even if I didn't have any of that, I'd be fine. There's something on the light on my glasses that's really bizarre. Oh my gosh, let's see. Oh, that's really strange. How do I get, wowie zowie. Anyway, sorry I saw that. Now I'm fixated on it. That's, looks like I have this green thing here. Let's see, can we change that? One day I'll figure out all this crap. Okay, so anyway, and then I had 20 scrapbooks from being a musician, and the press loved me. I mean, I always had press, and I got rid of all that stuff. Actually, I donated all to the Blues Archives at the University of Oxford University. Because they have Blues Archives there, so I sent my stuff over to them. But I mean, I just gave away a whole bunch of other things that were Joe's, and I don't want to be. If I want to think about something that's happened, I'll think about it. I don't need stuff, and I don't want to live in the past. I don't want to. Oh my gosh, it was so. I've done enough of that now. With like Joe being gone, and God, Joe did this and Joe did that, and nobody's as good as Joe is, and all that. It's exhausting. It's heartbreaking. So it's, he's not here. I'm here right now. Doesn't mean I can't miss him, but I've got to watch myself so that I don't linger in the, shoulda, coulda, woulda, That's really important for me. I know I've got to get on with my life. I feel like I've kind of been stuck for the last year, maybe more. I've just been stuck. And I know that focusing on everything except right here, right now is a big part of it. So it really lies with me. Okay, well, off to work. I have to go teach, and go to Trader Joe's and go to my chiropractor. So it's a busy day today, and I'm going to send you a ton of love from my garden to yours. May your garden always grow. I will be growing a garden again this spring, by the way. All right, you guys. Okay, sending you a ton of love. Have a good one. Bye.